All right, we're going to talk about the NBA here. Obviously, fans of the NBA, today is October 17th. The
Mhm.
NBA actually kicks off regular season 1 week from today, October 24th. Is that a week from? That's a week from today, right? The 24th. So that's when the league kicks off. We haven't really touched on this, and I've been interested to get your thoughts on this because I haven't. You and I personally have not talked about this yet,
Mhm.
but the league is trying to push its star players to play more and rest less. So they have gotten this whole new penalty. They're making it punitive for star players to rest who aren't injured. And so there's
Mhm.
fines for star players who sit out games and they're not injured. I forget the monetary amount. And they're trying to push an 82 game mindset. They've also added stipulations to awards. So now I believe you cannot win the NBA MVP award if you played less than 65 games. And there's all sorts of contingencies attached to all NBA, first team, second team, third team, all NBA defense, all of these awards, rookie of the year, and all of this kind of stuff. You can't get any of this stuff. You are disqualified if you do not play the requisite amount of games.
Hmm.
So this is the NBA's attempt to try and curb what I believe is a cultural problem in this league with players sitting games out. So to provide a little bit of context, real quick, this is from ESPN. It says NBA pushing 82 game mindset to players ahead of regular season. NBA Executive Vice President and Head of Basketball Operations Joe Dumars said the league has communicated to its players and teams that we are really emphasizing that this is an 82 game season and that the league has data indicating player rest doesn't necessarily translate to players being healthier. I think it was a given conclusion that the data showed that you had to rest players a certain amount, and that justified guys sitting out. Dumar said Wednesday during a conference call with national media. We've gotten more data, and it just doesn't show that resting, sitting guys out correlates with lack of injuries or fatigue or anything like that. What it does show is guys may not be as efficient on the second night of a back to back. But in terms of injury and things like that, uh, that we thought that it did prior. As we got more data, we realized that's not really holding up. Dumar's comments come as the NBA is trying to increase participation among its top players heading into this season, and also as the league is beginning the process of negotiating its new national broadcast rights deal with the current one contract to expire after the 2024-25 campaign. The NBA's new player participation policy, which ties players winning the league's MVP award and other top individual honors to competing in at least 65 games, includes a fine system for teams that intentionally rest players without any injury issues. The new policy stems from an ongoing trend over the past several years, wherein teams have placed a greater emphasis on resting players in an attempt to avoid injuries, particularly when it comes to playing games on back to back nights. So that pretty much gives you a background on what we're dealing with here. I'm interested to hear your thoughts about this because I don't think you and I have discussed this new policy thing that the NBA is trying to implement to get these guys to play more games. I am personally, I have gone on the record. I personally, in my opinion, I don't think that the rest thing has much to do with injury at all. I think that it was a cultural thing going on with the league where it became a vogue statement for guys to rest and not play games, which
Whoa.
infuriates me as a fan. I don't think it had much to do with injury. Certain people, maybe you can make the claim that it did have something to do with injury, but I think league wide it had less to do with injury and it just had more to do with this is what we want to do because we feel like it, and they're the star and so they get whatever they want, and we're beholden to the star, so you just got to deal with it. But what do you make of this resting policy and this 82 game mindset that the league is trying to impress upon its players?
I don't think it's gonna work. Oh, I mean, it's a step in the right direction, I would say. They had to do something because it has been getting out of control, and I never really put it. I never really heard it put that way, but yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Like it was basically in vogue to do that because it was only the star guys really, and it was like, man, I got clout. I'm me. I don't have to play this back to back. Or if it's 2 stars like the Clippers, then they was just playing games. Hey, Paul, you start. Okay, Paul, you sit. Kawhi, you start. Now, I play DFS, y'all. So that for the people that don't know, that's daily fantasy. So I play fantasy with these guys, and it's always a pain because was so and so gonna sit? He's been questionable all week. Is he gonna play finally? What's wrong with him? Really, his finger? You know what I'm saying? And then you look back in the day, those guys were playing through that stuff. But you know, with passing time, man, I'm sorry, dude. Like the struggle wasn't hard for these people. It wasn't the people that was playing in the 80s and 90s. Like they grew up different. They had to struggle for stuff. It wasn't microwave. And look, man, I had to grow up to see it, man. But our generation was entitled as hell, and the ones that came after us were worse. And that's how I can sit there and go, hey, man, pick up. What are you doing? I'm sitting there, hey, you young people. But I'm like, wait, hold on. This is the same stuff that older people was telling us. And it's like, yeah,
Yep.
bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Stuff started to fall off, and it's because times got easier, if you will. Then since times got easier, entitlement went through the roof, man. And so the most diva athletes out there are NBA players.
Yeah.
And it's sad, and it makes the league look soft. And when I was a kid, I used to always look in the back of cards. I love looking at stats. Like it was just, I don't know what it was. I would look at it all day and just stat. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, wow, 15 rebounds a game. I'm losing my mind at a card. But all the time I'm sitting there looking at it, it's 82 games, 79 games, 80 games. These guys are playing full seasons. And but when I was doing that, I was still a kid. So this is what, 95, 96. So people were still playing 80 games still. You look at Patrick Ewing stuff, Mr. Bad Knees. If he played in this generation, he wouldn't play at all. Patrick Ewing was bone on bone mid-career with those knees. And he still played 82 games. So these guys go, wait a second. I'm not feeling like Zion today. No, I'm healthy. What do you mean you're healthy? Yeah, I'm healthy. I just don't feel like Zion today when I woke up. So, I'm not suiting up for this. So the last part I'll say before I let you go is how will the league regulate this? Outside of a dumbass statement like Zion said of, yeah, I'm clean, but I just don't want to play. How can they regulate somebody's soft tissue injury? And so somebody say that, oh man, hamstring, they can gimp all they want. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's tender. They can gimp all they want. I can't run, coach. So he going to sit on that back-to-back because it was a tough game. He played 35 minutes, So they going to play with this crap. That's why I said I don't really think it's going to do much, but it is a step in the right direction to just shine a light on, hey, guys, people are tired of this crap. I mean, you watch a primetime game and no stars are playing. It's ridiculous, bro. So I'm pretty sure the league has had enough of its ratings probably taking a dip because, people want to see Steph Curry shoot from half court. And if he's not playing because it's a back-to-back, that's trash. So how do you feel about this, man? Do you feel like the league is making a step in the right direction at least, or do you think this is actually going to work?
I'm hoping it works. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping it works. So I'm holding out hope here. Mm-hmm. This is the positivity stream for JV Wins tonight. I'm I'm hoping it works because so there's two things that have contributed to the erosion of my fanhood of the NBA. Mm-hmm. The resting players thing, and then this whole I want to go play for this team thing, where guys are just like saying, "Send me to this team because that's where I want to play," even though you player signed a contract. Before I get into what I'm gonna say real quick with that contract thing, like because Damian Lillard, right? And I have a vested interest. I had, as a Miami Heat fan, I had a vested interest in how the Damian Lillard scenario was going to turn out
Same.
because he wanted to come play for Miami, and my team is the Heat. So I had a vested interest in how that turned out. But I was experiencing cognitive dissonance because I hate it when these dudes make these demands to go to a specific team. It
Yeah.
drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why it drives me crazy is because the media is so chicken shit. The sports media is to these superstar NBA players the way that the music journalism industry is to these trash rappers out here. The way I'll be talking about how there's no accountability when it comes to the way that we rate the music and how that's contributing to the music being trash. The media does that with these players because what I kept hearing on these shows all the time is Portland needs to do right by Damian Lillard and send him to the Heat. No, the hell they don't. Like,
Right.
I'm a Damian Lillard fan, and I want him to play for the Heat. But this idea that they need to do right by him and send him to the Heat, even if it's going to get them garbage in trade value in return, is ridiculous. They're paying you $100 and something million to play basketball. What is it that they're not doing right by you on? Explain that to me. Explain it. You're earning generational wealth.
Mm.
You signed a contract that is paying you like 60-70 million dollars per season. What is it that they're not doing right by you on? That you're still saying they need to do right by him and not only pay him all this money, but send him to the team that he wants to go to. He didn't have to sign that contract. He's not a free agent. He's under contract. So that drives me crazy. The other thing that drives me crazy is the whole resting thing.
Mhm.
And I never bought into this idea that resting, stops guys from getting injured or it decreases the frequency of injured. I've always thought that that was BS. And shouts out to Richard Jefferson because he talks about this from time to time on that show that he does on ESPN. He mentioned this before. Like these dudes are sitting out all of these games. First of all, the league started the NBA season a whole week earlier than they used to so that they can stretch the 82 game season out to limit the amount of back to backs that every team plays. So the whole back to back thing, even though you still play a few back to backs per year, every team is playing a very limited amount of back to backs throughout the season, period. So the whole back to back thing no longer even washes because you're not even playing that many back to backs to begin with anymore. Not like the way it used to be. Back when the league started during the week of Halloween, now the league starts a whole week earlier so that they can stretch it out. So y'all ain't even playing that many back to backs. So that is out of here. I don't want to hear that.
Mhm.
And then another thing that Richard Jefferson mentions is these dudes got massage trainers, hyperbolic chambers.
Come on
They
now.
got they got ice bath chambers. They got all of these different resources. They got the nutritionists. They got the stretchy stuff. They got all of these super fancy doctors and personnel who are working for the team. So the organization hires these people. They have these individuals on retainer. They pay these people a paycheck to wait on these guys hand and foot with constant around the clock deep tissue massage treatments, uh, superficial massage treatments. They got the hyperbaric chambers. They got all of this kind of stuff at their disposal resource wise to prolong to limit the amount of injury, to limit the occurrence of injury, and to keep their bodies strong and good throughout the duration of the regular season. And you want to tell me that despite all of these resources that these teams are paying for, y'all still need to sit out these games to reduce injury? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. So the whole thing to me has always been BS. To me, I started liking NFL and college football more than the NBA because it became apparent to me that these guys were sitting out games because they felt like it. It had nothing to do with injury. It was just because they could and they felt like it. And they weren't going to be held accountable because these pansies in the media were going to defend them for it because the superstars move the needle. So they should be able to sit out games because we need them rested for the playoffs. So what the hell are y'all doing every day with these resources available to you to make you more pliable, to make you stronger, to make your body more capable of withstanding an 82 game season. What are these organizations paying for if y'all are still sitting games out? I don't understand it. So I've always thought that it was BS. I hope that it works. Will it work? I don't know. I hope that it works. I hope that you're wrong, and I hope that it works. Some people who just have chronic injury issues, yeah, you kind of have to, you kind of got to help them out. People like Kawhi Leonard, the guy just seems to crack his knee every year. I don't know what the guy has going on. He's got some kind of degenerative knee issue. I think. I don't know what his deal is, but the guy seems to just mess his knee up every single year.
Yeah.
So people like that, you kind of have to help along and do the best you can and not sign them to a big ass contract that hamstrings your franchise, but that's a conversation for another day.
Thank you.
But most of these people, you can play and you have all of these resources available to you. Play the game and stop sticking it to the fans. It really does rub me the wrong way that we have gotten to this point. And I'm not saying that you need to do everything. I'm not okay. Like if you have if you have a meniscus situation, or you got a lower back industry, and you got back spasms, you don't need to be playing in the game just to appease fans. So I'm not trying to say that everything needs to run because of what the fans want. I'm not trying to say that. Fans don't need to run everything. So I get that. But at the same time, there's this complete disregard for fans that I'm also uncomfortable with. Like if you know that you can go, but you are just choosing to sit out because you feel like it, and you know that you're not going to play in this city again until at least the next whole season, have some integrity and get out on the court and play. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember in 2006, I went to a Heat game when the Lakers came. Kobe's my all-time favorite player. Kobe had the flu and he played the game. I appreciated that because that's the one and only time I ever got to see the guy play. I never got to see him play other than that one game. I'll never forget that. He scored like 18 points in the game. He clearly wasn't himself. He probably should have sat out. But he was here for one game out of those 82. Who knows if he was going to be back here again the following year? No one knew. So he played the game even though he had the flu. I respect the hell out of that. And that kind of thing seems to be in short supply these days because these guys are just coming from this entitlement AAU generation. And now you throw things like NIL into the mix where now they're coming into money even earlier, entitled even sooner. And now they really have a complete and utter lack of regard for having integrity with respect to playing in the games. And it's contributing to the erosion of the NBA, in my opinion. It's making it worse. So, I'm hoping that it works. The jury's out. We'll see, but I'm hoping that it works. And at the very least, even if it doesn't work, the fact that they're making it punitive. So, okay, fine, bro. You want to be Mr. Cool Guy and sit out games? Go for it. Be my guest. But you think you're going to win these awards and get these bonus checks and get these MVPs? No, you ain't going to get that. So you ain't finna be sitting out all of these games and you still eligible for these awards. So at the very least, even if it doesn't work, the fact that they're making those games punitive from an awards and accolade standpoint is a reconciliation that I can live with.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do because some of these dudes shouldn't even be all NBA. Some of these dudes by all-star break shouldn't even be all-stars. But they're gonna want the all-stars in their all-star game, so they're gonna do whatever for that. But
they all-star checks.
Yeah. But that all NBA stuff, I be mad sometimes. I think they already kind of had a criteria, but they need to up it. They need to up it because some people don't need to be on there. And but yeah, dude, you're 1000% correct. Again, I'm playing daily fantasy, man, and some of these dudes are out for the illness. That's like, what you got, bro? I know it ain't COVID. What you got, bro? You know what I'm saying? He's sitting out for 2 games and whoop-de-whoop when he back out there. And it's like, and some of these guys come back from these injuries ready to go. They just running. And I'm like, were you even hurt, bro? You know what I'm saying? Or how long have you been feeling this good? Because you're running like a mug right now. So why did you sit out those extra weeks or whatever? So I completely understand sprained ankles, knees, like you said, back. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like I get those things that slow down basketball players. Those are very common for basketball players. But these hamstring injuries, illness, I be hearing some crazy stuff. Eye infection. I'm like, what is eye infection? We're doing this stuff.
Bro, it's so egregious with the resting. They didn't even have to give a reason. It was just DNP rest.
You will see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
now
it was
that
just
now
rest.
that was like, what the hell is this? Oh yeah, he's just resting. So one thing I do appreciate about LeBron, he play. That boy
Yeah,
gonna play. He just started load managing, more towards the tail end of his career, but he's still gonna play, man. He's gonna
yeah,
be out there if he can.
right.
So I respect him for that. But yeah, man, this new age stuff, bro, I don't drive with it. So yeah, hopefully this is a step in the right direction. But I think this will only impact those people that want to be, all NBA, all that other stuff. But you're still going to see your shenanigans. It's kind of like you said, it's a bad culture. It's kind of like a school where they don't mark you off for attendance.
Yeah, yeah,
Once the first person just not show up and see that there's no real penalty to it, why the hell would I come back? So now they say, hey, if you want to get, this grade to get, whatever, you got to at least show up for this many days and watch them go straight up to that line. 65th game, 65th game. I made it. Now give me my first team all NBA now. Yeah, you're gonna see that. But that's why I say I don't think this is enough. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But they do have to leave a little some window for some guys that legitimately got injured. But I think they should make, situations for that. Somebody that clearly had a high ankle sprain. Everybody saw it. There should be, some of those things. But again, who's on these boards? Who's making these decisions on injuries? It's a little too vague for me. I don't like that. So we'll see how it works. So
yeah, yeah,
mm,
yeah. I'm hoping that it works because I wanna love this. I wanna love the league again. I do.
good
I
luck.
do. I say that sincerely. I want to love the league again, but I have really it's become third for me. And I get geeked up for NFL and college football, and then NBA is like,
Yeah,
you
dude.
know,
They done
because I
fell off.
consume, yeah, because I like to consume sports and I do love, I'm never gonna not love it per se.
I hear you.
I'm still gonna watch, of course, but in terms of how enthusiastic I am about it, it's eroded over the years. It honestly has, and it's because of crap like this. These dudes are just they talk about diva wide receivers in the NFL, and not people like AJ Brown and back in the day people like T.O. and Randy Moss. They might have been a little obnoxious from time to time, but damn it, at least they were going to be in every game unless they were hurt.
Exactly.
And these dudes in the NBA, it's like the whole. I remember when I first saw. I
I
remember
played
the first
basketball.
time. Yeah, I remember when I first saw. I remember where I was. I was in my apartment in Tallahassee the first time I saw something that said DNP rest, and I looked at that and I said, "Oh, hold up." So this guy's not hurt. He's 100% healthy. He's just not playing in the game because he wants to rest. I was so confused by it. I was more confused than upset because I didn't even know what that meant. And then you started seeing it more and more, and these guys are just on the sidelines in street clothes. It's atrocious. And I remember you brought up Zion. I remember when I saw when Zion gave those quotes. I said, "What?
Yeah.
So you're not playing because what does I don't feel like Zion mean? What does that mean? So you're healthy, but you don't want to. You're not playing because you don't feel like Zion, and the organization is just okay with paying you this contract and letting you get away with this. Like the placation that is going on in the NBA is beyond the pale. They're just letting these guys do whatever the hell they want, and it's ruining it. It's making it worse.
Yeah, I agree,
So
dude.
it's disgusting. It is. It's disgusting. I
That's
hope
what
it works.
I'm saying. That, yeah, the NBA season is long and stuff like that. And as you get older, 26, 27, the body ain't as resilient as it used to be when you was a kid. But come on, bro. Come on, bro. It's just basketball.
It is
And so
basketball.
like I said, if it's not your knee, your ankle, or your back or something like that, then why aren't you playing, bro? Like football, that's real injuries, dude. And some of those guys get banged every game, and some of those dudes play all 16. So It's like, nah, bro, y'all out there just tipping the ball off and shooting threes. So go sit down, man. I'm sounding like get off my lawn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's true. It's true. Like, I'm sorry, but it's true. You can call me old if you want to. I
Yeah, get
don't
off
give a
my
damn.
lawn.
It's true. It's true. Like, just play, man. Like, just play. Even if you want to get out there on the court and chuck your threes and get a few assists and rebounds and you contributed to the outcome of the game, win or lose, but you played like Kobe with the flu game. Kobe wasn't out there trying to drop 50. He was sick, but he played in the game because he wanted to do what he could. And it seems like that sensibility is lost. It's like we got 60 more, so I ain't tripping. Like, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I really
Yeah.
don't. But to each their own. I just hope that this thing works. And if it doesn't work, like I said, at least they can get DQ from winning those trophies, and at least it's punitive in some kind of way. So,
Good
um,
luck.
yeah, I guess.
Good luck, man.
Oh man, it's crazy.
Hmm.